Hi friends, welcome to my channel once again. So in the previous section video we have discussed about the overview of the RE framework, correct? And we have also gone through the RE framework template, right? So today we'll discuss one of the basic example. We are going to build a workflow by using RE framework template. Okay, the workflow is very simple and the task is very simple. Okay, so we need to process this data into UI demo application. So I hope you should be knowing UI demo is just a dummy application provided by UiPath itself for UiPath Academy for practice purpose. Okay, the main purpose is we are going to process this data into the respective fields and keep on processing this uh, data into this application. But here we are not using any sequences or any work flowcharts, but we are using RE framework template in order to achieve this task. Okay, right. So what we are doing here is, so we have three columns, right? Cache in, on US check, not on US check. Okay, so we are going to enter the data of the respective fields and we are going to update the status as success or completed or done or pass or whatever convenient for you. Keep it in mind, this is the very first example. So in this video, I'm not going to put any validations, but once we keep on moving towards the more complex workflows, I'm going to put the validation. Okay, so here the demonstration is very simple, the use case is very simple. Just process this data into UI demo application and just update the status. So keep it in mind, we have not going to validate anything in this example. Okay, yeah, so let's start by launching the UiPath application. I am going to launch the UiPath application now. Okay, so this has opened the first screen. So here we have so many things. We can open the local project, and we have a process. So this is a traditional way of creating the sequences, and we have the library as well. So these are the template provided by UiPath. So we have already seen this. Now I'm going to create a template of robotic enterprise framework. Just I'm going to click on that. Okay, and so give the appropriate name of the framework. You can give any name. I will just give RE framework of RE framework demon demonstration for UI demo application. Right. So I want to process the data. So you can give any description. The data from Excel sheet and into UI demo application. Okay, just you need to give the name and you just want to give the description, you can give, or else that's fine. Let's click on create. So this will create a new project from in the form of RE framework template. So our project has been created. Now we should click on open main workflow. So once you can see the main workflow. Okay, so as we are familiar with this is just the RE framework template, standard template provided by UiPath, right? So here we need to look into some of the other concepts, okay, which we have not discussed in the previous section. Okay, we'll just go one step deeper. Okay, so initialization phase, get transaction phase, process transaction phase, and end transaction phase. Okay, and process phase. So these we are familiar with. Okay, apart from that, right, we are going to see what are the variables available along with this template. So let's click me on variable tab. Okay, so these are the variables which are which comes with the part of RE framework template. So these are the variables which has been built by UiPath team as well, along with the RE framework template. Okay, and you can use these as a variable items, or you can use this as the arguments also. So you can use this in other workflows as a part of arguments also. Okay, and it is not mandatory that you should use only these variables. You can create your own variables and arguments, and you can use those variable or argument throughout your framework, right? So we will go in deep with this, so you will gradually come to know once we go into other examples and towards the complex examples, right? So this is first thing. Okay, and the next important aspect is the config file, right? We have discussed about config file at a very high note, so here we are going to use it. Okay, okay, so let's unfortunately I have started, let's me stop this. Okay, I have pressed some key, it has got started the execution, right? Okay, let me open the initialization phase. Okay, so here first the sequence is it will load the configuration and open applications. Okay, here this is the predefined code, okay, or the workflows which has been created by UiPath team only. Okay, so at the first go, or when you are dealing with the very first examples, don't need to go in depth of what exactly this means, but you just keep it in mind that during the initialization phase, okay, it will try initialize the settings in config file, and it will also initialize the applications might be web application or your Windows application or any kind of application. Okay, so our focus should be on config file. Okay, so at the very first run, okay, it will check the condition. If config is nothing, then it will initialize the settings inside the config file. We will do it, then you will understand. Okay, so orchestration, we are not dealing with this. Let's remove this at this point of time, right? And we are going to kill the process, we'll discuss it later. Okay, so first we should understand what is a config file. Okay, so as discussed in the previous videos, I said config file is a place where you can declare your global variables or some standard variables which can be reused instead of hard coding. Okay, so let me open the config file here. So config file is available under data folder always. Okay, fine. So this is my config file. Okay, so here we are going to use this config file. So how to use it we are going to discuss now. So now orchestration name we don't need, so I'm straight away going to remove this just to keep, and not I mean which there shouldn't be any confusions. Okay, the second tab is constant tab. So here you can able to update whatever the configuration you want to change, but for the just keep it as it is because this is the first example, so no need to change anything. Just keep max retry number as 1. If you don't keep, that is fine, and all this description is self-explanatory, and these are all standards. Okay, so uh, I don't think it is much needed at this point of time to get in deep into that. Okay, and next is assets. So we are not dealing with any assets because asset is a part of orchestrator usage. So in this time we are not using assets, so keep this as it is. Okay, settings file. So from config file what exactly we need? Okay, so in this example, okay, and there is no hard code rule that you have to use these many applications details or any of your data details here, so you can use however you want. Okay, so let's consider here one example. In this example what I need is I want the path of UI demo application. This one I need, right? And I also need transaction data Excel sheet, right? So first I want to open the application, but I want which application should I open? I want to open UI demo application. From where should I open? I just want the path where that UI demo X is located, and transaction data is one where that Excel sheet is located. Okay, now I also want some login details like username, and we need password. Okay, so keep this in mind. I repeat, we are not supposed to use, or it's not at all a best practice to use username, password, or any login information into the config file, okay, because of some security reasons. But this is a very basic example just for your understanding per se. I am just adding username password here. Okay, usually username password you will get it from some other files like orchestration assets, or it should be secured one, right? Now first I just need the path of UI demo application. Okay, so you can keep, so here what I'm going to do is, so I am just going to copy these two important files into my project folder. Okay, so let me open this and paste this, right? So you can keep the transaction data wherever you want into the computer, but you should give the proper path. And same, like you can keep the UI demo application wherever you want in the computer, but you should be having the proper path. Okay, so now let's refresh this. You can see the transaction data as well as the UI demo application exe file is under data folder only. Correct. Now let's go to config file. Okay, so where is my UI demo application? It's under the data of the current directory. And what is the name of the application? Let's try to rename this, because I'm not very good in spelling. So I'm just, you to be very safekeeping, I'm just copying this and pasting this here. .exe. We should give the extension also, proper extension. And where is my transaction data? It is under data folder. Fine. What is the name of the file? The name of the file is, let me rename and copy. Okay, it is transactions. Let me copy this. .xl, yes, yes, xl, yes, x, correct. Okay, now username is admin and password is password. Okay, so let me repeat. So in order to achieve this task, all right, we need UI demo application. Okay, and we need Excel data to process the data into UI demo application, and we need username and password. So this is the main data what we need in order to achieve this task. Okay, now let's go to framework side. Okay, now let's try to understand this. If you don't understand also, that is fine, but your focus should be how to use the config file in the first demo or the demo video. Okay, first thing is, it will start if config is nothing. Okay, if there is no configuration we have added, then it will initialize all the settings. So if you open workflow, this will be confusing, but keep it in mind that in the first run it will initialize all the settings, and it will kill all the processes. All the processes means, sometimes what happens, you will keep multi excels open, or multi applications open, which will be confusing, right? So in order to be a very clean and neat execution, it will kill all the processes running, like Excel process, like browser process if you are using browser automation, and also it will kill a Windows application or whatever it may be. And it is not mandatory, but it's a good practice. Okay, so this is done, right? So now what we are going to do here is, first step is we need to read this. Okay, so this information. Okay, so we are using uh, read range activity. Okay, so that is our basic read range activity. It's not a special thing in RE framework. They have given a template. We have to use the activities which we want, right? So first I will use read range activity. read range activity. Okay, so I'm using read range activity. So now you should be careful because this is where we are going to deal with the config file now. Okay, rest all these are all constant, no need to change anything. But here first thing we need to uh, read this, okay, file, okay, transaction file or data file, and put this into the data table variable. Okay, that's what I'm using read range activity. Now I am going to give the path, okay, by using config file. So how should I use this? I need to type config. So config is the variable, okay, created, which will come along with this template only. Okay, so config is the variable which will come along with this template. And what is its variable type is, it is a dictionary of key value pair. Okay, because the config file is dictionary of key value pair. So that's what you keep it in mind. So key value pair, you can google it or you will get the information. Let's not deviate the focus on this. Now we should just use config, so it will take, okay, so inside the braces and inside the double quotes I need to give the transaction data. Control C. Okay, I need to give the transaction data dot toString. Okay, so now what I did was I was reading the config file. Okay, from this config file I want to get the transaction data. So this is a key. Okay, and while execution it will read its value. So this is a key and it is a value. Okay, so I want to read the data. Where is my data located? I mean the Excel sheet located. It is located at data underscore and data slash transaction.xlsx is my sheet name. Okay, so this is a value whose key is this. So we are supposed to give the key name, not the value. Okay, sometimes what happens, you will give this value here. Okay, we should give the key value only. Okay, now the sheet is sheet 1. Okay, what is the sheet name is sheet 1 only. Okay, sometimes the script will fail because there might be someone has changed the sheet name and you are just keeping this only here. So you should check what is the sheet name, right? Then I want to read the entire data. So this is quite simple. You would have gone through, I mean, how read range activities work, but the one thing change here is to use the config file. So config, inside that we need to give the key dot toString. That's it. Okay, so what would be the output? So output is of course a data table. Okay, and here the data table has been also provided. One of the type of variable is, see, transaction data. So this transaction data is the name of the variable whose variable type is data table. We can use this only because it's already provided, and it's not harm that you should not create your own output data table, but anyhow they have given a variable, so it's good practice to use that only. So I will generally use transaction data. Okay, so this is done, right? What we did, we first we have not done anything here. It is standard and we are not touching it also. Okay, so read range activity is a one where we are going to read this data and keep it in the a data table. So data table variable has been provided by UiPath only. So we are just referring to the same, we are just storing the data table output into the same data table. Okay, so this is done here. The next thing is, in the initialization phase, okay, we have read the data table and then we are going to init applications. Okay, so here we are going to init application means here we are going to launch the applications, means log into the applications. Let's remove, we don't want to trace or log anything at this point of time, keeping the things complex. Okay, so here you can also see what they have given: open applications used in process and do necessary initialization procedure, example login. So we are going to do the same thing here, right? So in order to do this, let me close this and let me open UI demo application. Okay, control D. So first thing I need to open the application. Okay, so open application is our regular easy used, quite often used activity. Indicate windows on the screen. I will indicate this screen, right? Now I want to give the path file name also. Okay, so this is a file name, okay, which is located. So if you keep this, then also it's fine, or else you can use our config file. So what I'm going to do, in .config file, okay, so this is nothing but a config file data variable only. We are storing in because we are using the config file in a form of arguments. Okay, so in .config file I'm supposed to write where is the path. Okay, so I'm using this, the key dot toString. Okay, I repeat, we are using config file, but here the variable is not accessible because you are using config into some other workflow. That's what we are using in a form of arguments. Okay, we are using in a form of arguments. Okay, so this will come gradually, you will understand it the more and more you practice. Okay, how to use the arguments, fine. And I'm just giving the key of the config, and then I'm just converted into toString and click on OK. Fine. So now we have launched this application. I want to locate the username, password, and click on login. Okay, so I will just use type into activity, and I think click. Yes, I need to use the click. Okay, indicate this here. I want username, I want password. Okay, and I want to click into login. Okay, so let me simulate click, let me empty field and simulate this. Okay, let me empty field and simulate type, right? So what we are supposed to enter into the username. Okay, so we have the username and password information into the config file. Okay, again I used to write in.config of what we have here into config. Okay, okay, so here we should write, okay, it's okay, fine. So here we should write 1 second, it's something got auto hide. Okay, so here we are supposed to write config, and inside double quotes we have to provide pass the username. Okay, dot toString, and password is in underscore config. So in the previous workflow, we used to directly type config because that is accessible, that variable is accessible into that workflow. But this is different workflow, so we are using config variable in the form of argument. So that's what we are using in dot config. Okay, and this argument is also inbuilt. They have already created. We have not created this. Okay, so this is always inbuilt. We are just using it. So in RE framework, so 80% of the things they have already created. Okay, we just need to use it however we want. Okay, so now in the same way we are supposed to write here password. Let me check the spelling, PASSWORD. Okay, fine. Then dot toString. Okay, so all the errors are gone. So we are done with initialize, I mean the init. mm, Yeah, we are done with initialization part. What we done in initialization is we have first created the config file. means we have used the config file and we have just created what exactly we want to use in our application. So we want UI demo path, and then we have transaction data, means Excel sheet, we need that Excel sheet, and we have given the value, we need username and password. So this is what we done, right? And then we have just launched the application and we have logged in into application. So password, so we have logged in into application. Okay, let me keep this open. So we are done with initialization phase. Okay, now in initialization phase, if the initialization is success, means the config data, I mean the configuration file is also correct, everything is correct, then it will go to the next phase, that is get transaction data phase. If there is any problem, okay, during the initialization, then it will end the process. Okay, so you can change this text like successful, you can write it as a pass or success, whatever we want. And here this also you can just edit and type whatever we want. Okay, let's go to get transaction data. So before going here, we should keep it in mind. Okay, so the data we are getting is in the form of Excel sheet. Okay, and we are getting the data from the data table we have created. Okay, so we have to go to variables. Okay, so here transaction item is nothing but the data. Okay, so let's open the sheet. So here this is a transaction item, this is a transaction item, so this is a transaction item. So whatever the item, each and every item present in a data table is nothing but a transaction item, right? So now the transaction item variable type is q item by default. Okay, because q item is a variable uh, will come into picture when we are using orchestrator queues. Okay, now we are not dealing with orchestration queues, we are just dealing with Excel sheet. So we need to change this queue item from queue item to system dot data dot data row. So this we are going to use here. So the transaction item is nothing but the data row. Okay, not the queue item. So we can see some exceptions. Okay, so these exceptions or the errors, we are going to remove this. So the basic thing is, whenever we have the transaction item whose variable type is queue item, that we need to change from queue item to data. So there are several places where we can change it. Okay, so then this has to be changed in process transaction also and get transaction data also. Okay, this we can do later. First we will deal with get transaction data. So we should always keep it in mind that if you are dealing with Excel sheet, then the variable type should be data row only. It will not work for other variable types, right? Let me open this. Okay, then we have a stop signal, check stop signal. We are not at all dealing with orchestration, just delete this, right? Okay, so we need to check the errors, right? So we need to check the errors basically. Yes, so here we can see the error. Okay, so this is not an exception, so we have to just follow a simple trick. Okay, select this and then delete, and again controls yes, that is save it, and again type nothing. Okay, so this will get resolved. Okay, so that is a simple, that is not a error though, it is just a problem in initialization. Okay, so now here we are seeing one error. Okay, let me check where the error is. Just click on import arguments tab. Okay, so in import arguments tab you can see a error here. Okay, it is because the transaction item out dot transaction item. Okay, so this is argument, okay, which has been already developed inbuilt developed by UiPath and team in RE framework template. So I need to change it from queue item to again data row. Okay, so let me click on OK. So this error is gone, but we are seeing one more error here. Okay, so this error usually present in catch section. Okay, yeah, here again we have nothing. Okay, let's delete this, control S, that is save, again type nothing, and the error will be gone. Yes, the error will be gone. Okay, so we are done with this. Now the important thing here is we need to write a code in get transaction data workflow. So let's click on open workflow. So this is very, very important. Okay, we are just putting the condition here. Okay, so first thing, get transaction item. So this is getting transaction item from the specified orchestrator queue. We are not dealing with orchestration, just directly straight away delete this. Okay, so we are in get transaction data, right? So in get transaction data we need to write the condition. Okay, so basically what condition we need to write, right? So if you are using Excel, so in this case I am going to write a condition. Let's see what argument we have in this section. We got in dot in underscore transaction number and IO underscore transaction data. Okay, so transaction number is of argument type integer and transaction data is argument type of data table. So transaction is data is nothing but the data table we have created after reading the Excel file. Okay, so I will write a condition in underscore transaction number is less than IO underscore transaction data dot rows dot count. Okay, what does this mean is in underscore transaction number. Okay, so transaction number will start from 1. Okay, so this is 1, this is 0, this is 1. Okay, the condition is in underscore transaction number, that is 1 is less than transaction data, means this is transaction data, that is data table, and here we are counting the rows dot count. So how many rows are there? It's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So 10 rows are there. Okay, so 1 is always less than 10, right? So here this condition 1 is always less than 10. Okay, then it will go to true part. Okay, so let's not keep everything here. These are all related to the log files which we are not dealing with. Okay, we are dealing with only out dot out underscore transaction item. Transaction item is nothing but the data. Here we should write, okay, IO underscore transaction data into the bracket in underscore transaction number. It means transaction number is nothing but the count. Okay, in the first go it is first row, so IO underscore transaction data, it is a table with 1, means in the first iteration it will read the first row. In the second iteration of this table the transaction number gets incremented by 2. Okay, it means it reads the second row. In the third iteration it will get incremented by 3, it will read the third row. So this is the logic behind this, right? So we are going to update the transaction item. Okay, so I'm seeing the error. Let's see what's the error. Okay, so let's go to arguments, right? So here we are seeing this as a queue item, transaction item. We should change this to data row. Now the error should be resolved. Yes. Okay, so this is very important. It means transaction number 1 is less than the number of rows. In this case we have 10 rows. So first iteration 1 is less than 10, true. Then the output, that is transaction item, should be the data of the first row. In the next iteration the transaction out underscore transaction item equal to transaction data of second row. Likewise it will keep on iterating. Okay, then in the else part we should write, okay, we should write like this, let's assign. Okay, so if this condition fails, then we should write out dot transaction item, sorry, out underscore transaction item, we should mark it to nothing. So when out underscore transaction item is nothing, then this will end. Okay, the cycle should stop and it should directly go to end block or end state or end phase. So we are done with get transaction data phase. Okay, we are done with get transaction data phase, right? So here one important thing is, we if we want to get a new transaction means the second data. So first data is the first transaction. If we are reading this, then I want to get the next transaction, then it should go here, then it should fetch this in third transaction. This is fourth transaction. So for that we should keep a condition here, right, saying that, okay, same thing, if transaction number is less than transaction data dot rows dot count. Okay, if this condition is true, then proceed to, then it should go to process transaction state. If this condition is false, then it should ultimately end the process. Okay, fine. So we are done with initialization, we are done with get transaction data. Now the very important part is the process transaction. Let's double click into it and go inside. So at the beginning you can see a lot of errors here. Okay, see, these are the errors. Let's see what is the error is. So ultimately here we got the error. Let's go to import arguments. Okay, see, here we are seeing the error because the transaction item, okay, should be of data row. So this error will be gone now. Okay, correct, but still we are seeing errors. Okay, it's because we have some errors in finally block. Okay, that we'll discuss later and we can see it later. But very important thing is the process, what exactly we need to do. We should define, or we should write a workflow in process workflow file. So this is a XAML file. So process workflow, invoke process workflow XAML file. Okay, let's open this. Okay, so they have not written anything. Okay, if you can read this, here we are doing the business processes which are usually implemented by multiple sub workflows. Okay, right? Okay, so here you just go through this. Okay, let's not deviate there. So our main thing is, now we have opened the application, right, in the initialization phase, and we have already logged in there. Okay, so now in this phase we are going to locate this field and this button and keep on passing the values from the Excel sheet, right? So now we know that we have already opened this. Okay, so in order to proceed further, I am using attach window activity. Okay, so indicate this on screen. Where is that? Yes, so I will indicate this on the screen. Right now what I need, I need to locate this out on US check, not on US check and accept button. So let's drag, we have type into activity, one more type into activity. Let's indicate the element cache in, indicate on US check, then not on US check, then I should write click. I need to click the accept button, right? So let's accept, correct. Now the very important thing is, Okay, I need to empty field and simulate type. This is very important because sometimes there are possibility of getting error if you don't check this. Basically, possibility, not always, but there are some possibilities. Okay, now what value should I pass here? Okay, it's very important. So again we are getting the use of, right, the Excel file. Okay, so now what I am writing is, here in the arguments we'll see we got the transaction item. So transaction item means the out underscore transaction item from get transaction state will be the input for this phase. Okay, input for process transaction phase. Okay, so here I have got the transaction item, that is data. I got the data. Okay, transaction item from its previous phase, that is get transaction state. So now I want to pass it into this field. So how can I do it? Okay, now again you can see here the argument type should be what? It is Q item in this case, but I need to change it to data row. Always we should keep it in mind, the transaction item argument type or data type should be always data row. Okay, now I should write like this: in underscore transaction item dot item of what I want, item of cash in. Okay, so item of cash in dot to string, right, like that. Next is in underscore transaction item dot item of what? I need the item of which column? I need the item of on US check column. Okay, on US check column. Okay, so next thing I want in dot transaction item dot item of not on US check. Okay, control V dot to string, right? Fine. So here we don't need any argument because this is just a click type. Okay, so here we are done with the process state. What we have done is, anyhow we have opened the application before. Okay, we have logged in with username and password and the application is opened, right, in initialization phase. So in this phase, that is process phase, we have just used attach window activity and we have just located the required elements in order to pass the data from the Excel, and that's it. We clicked on accept button, right? So this is quite simple and this is done. Now we'll come to, okay, I want to save it. Yeah, now I will come to very important part, right? You can see still we are seeing some error here. Okay, so let's go to finally phase. So this is very important. Okay, okay, now this has got 9 arguments, right? See, transaction item. Okay, so by default it type is Q item, so I need to change it to data row. Yeah, we can see the error disappear. Now I should open the workflow. Okay, so they have written everything what this does, etc. You just go through it. Okay, and you will understand, not in the first example. So when you keep on practicing with different types of workflows, you will be understanding it. Okay, now just no need to worry at this point of time. Okay, so best thing is success. Okay, so let me open this, right? So here we have set transaction status. Okay, so we are, if you see, okay, set transaction status successful. Okay, so here we are not dealing with setting the transaction and getting the transaction with orchestrator. So I will just going to delete this. Okay, right? And we are no more dealing with seeing the logs or doing some logging activity, because this is very simple example. I just want you to understand first. Okay, let's delete this off. Okay, and we need to do some changes here. Okay, so let's see the condition. Okay, so in dot transaction item is not nothing, so this is one condition. And also int underscore transaction item dot get type is get type of not q item, so it should, we should change this to get type of system dot data row. Okay, so we should change, instead of q item we should write it as system dot data row. Okay, let's click on okay. Fine. Now if the transaction is success, okay, if system is able to enter this value and this value inside the application, and when you click on accept, if this is a success, what I am going to do, I am going to update the status. Okay, but now I just want to change this right now, because I just don't want to update anything, because I'm not putting any condition. So it's not a great thing to just keep on updating without any conditions. Okay, so in this video I'm just deleting this, I'm not going to update anything, but I just want to pass these values and show you how to just use the UiPath RE framework. Okay, fine. So in the coming tutorials we can able to see that how to update based on the condition. Okay, how to write one more cells, or how to write one more Excel sheet, okay, with the status or sending emails, that we will check in later part, I mean the coming videos. Right, at this point of time we'll just going to update the, I mean we are just going to enter the data from Excel to the application. So success part is done, right? So now we'll see what's there in business exception. If a business rule exception is thrown during the process, the transaction item status is updated as failed. Okay, so we should understand what is the difference between, okay, a business exception and system exception. Okay, business exception is nothing but exception in the business rules. For example, if the best example is, okay, if you have a text field, for example, it should accept only numeric value. Okay, and it should not, I mean let's go to reverse. If there is a any field which should accept both alpha and numeric. Okay, but in reality it is not working as per the rules defined, so that is business rule exception. Okay, so one more thing is, if you see the your bank card number or any credit card number should have a 16 digit. Okay, it is throwing, means it should have a 16 digit, so this is a business rule defined. If that fails, then it's a business rule exception. And system exception is your, like say, system crash, or something updation fails, or some application crashes will happen, or system slowness, or system irresponsiveness. Okay, so that is system exception. Okay, so that we will come to we'll discuss this in the later coming videos. Okay, so in business exception widget, open the workflow. We are not dealing with orchestrator, just delete this off. And we are not also dealing with logging business, delete this off. And again we need to change the same thing. Okay, so instead of uipath.core.queueitem, let me drag this. Okay, in dot transaction item is not nothing, and also in transaction item dot get type is get type of uipath.core.queueitem. We are not dealing with queueitem. Okay, instead we are dealing with a data row. That is, we should write system dot data dot. Okay, something is wrong, I guess. One second. Okay, system dot data dot data row, right? Okay, so this is done. So here also, if business exception occurs, okay, you can write your own activity. You can just send an email to the customer, or you just update the Excel, or just type a message or write an inline item, whatever it may be. Okay, so this is just a condition. That's what I said in the advantages of RE framework. I mentioned it's flexible, easy to maintain. So this is flexibility it will give. So based on business exception, you can create your own workflow or workflows in this activity, right? So this is what the beauty of RE framework is. Okay, now let me save this. Okay, so let's go to system exceptions. So let's see, do you have anything here? No, because this is system failure, we are not going to deal. And moreover, yes, if transaction is a queue item, no, we are not dealing with queue item. Just delete this off. Okay, so or we can directly delete system exception part itself, so there is no point in keeping that. Okay, okay, and there is no harm in keeping also. Right, so system exception we are not dealing right now here. Okay, our main, see, our main focus is beyond success, that's it, and business exception up to some extent. Okay, so let's try this off. And this is the increment. Okay, increment the transaction number which we have defined. Okay, so it will keep on incrementing. Okay, right, fine. So let's close this. Okay, let's hope this should work, right? Let's save this. Let me close all the application. So yes, I want to change. Let's close this. Oh, I closed UiPath application only. Let me, okay, so unfortunately in a hurry I closed UiPath application only, but let me open that. So I have opened it. Okay, so now we can run it. Okay, yes, so everything is set up fine. Let me run and see what we have. Okay, let me save this. Okay, I have closed, should close everything. Let's close this off. Okay, let me check the config again whether everything is in place or not. Okay, I think it should be in place. Yeah, everything is in place. Fine. So let's run. Okay, it has started running. Admin password login. Okay, 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 so there is some issue. It is reading only the first row. Okay, so let me check. Yeah, so there is some issue. Let me check what is the issue. Let me stop this first. Okay, so let's go to output and see. Set transaction XAML file. The values provided for the root activity arguments did not satisfy the root activities requirement. Expected input parameter value of QIPath.Q.QItem for the, okay, let's go there. So I think go to what the error reads is, see, set the values provided in the root activity. So this is the workflow XAML file. Okay, I should go here and they're saying set transaction status. So they are saying there is uipath.core.QItem. Okay, but I should change here also to the data type. So that's what I'm seeing this error. Okay, so let's here, let's go here and then What is that? Which file they are telling? I should go to set transaction status. Yes, set transaction status dot XAML file. Where is set transaction status XAML file? It should be in finally. Let me open the workflow. Okay, so set transaction status. Let me go to argument. Okay, so see here in dot transaction item, it should be system dot data dot data row. Now I think it should work. Let me save this. Okay, let me go to main. Let me go to main. So is this error or just a warning? No, it's a warning. So this is a warning. Okay, no need to worry about that. Let me save this off and let's give a run. Let me close this UI demo application and let me see what I have put for variables. Okay, transaction number, it should start from 0. Okay, keep it in mind, transaction number will start from 0. Control save. Me drag this, me run. Yes, it has launched. Admin password login. Yes, first record. Yes, it is taking second record. This is third record. This is fourth record. Fifth, sixth record. Yes, it is closed because it keeps on reading this file. Okay, so first it will process first record, okay, second, third, and when it process 10th record, right, when it come to 11th record, okay, this the trans out underscore transaction item is nothing. If out underscore transaction item is nothing, then what should happen? It should go to end process. So end process, usually we'll see what is there in end process. Okay, so open workflow. So in end process, okay, here we can use all close applications. Okay, so here you can use all close application because this is a customized one. Okay, so in end process and in kill process you can use whatever you want. So if I go to end process, let me do a demo. Okay, so close applications. Once the exception occurs, okay, then I want to close this UI demo application, right? So let's go here. Then I can write kill process. Okay, now what is the process name? How I can see the process name? Okay, so let me go to uh, task manager. So we'll see which tasks are running. Okay, if you want to kill something. Okay, now I can see my UI demo. Where is UI demo? Okay, UI demo.exe. I want to kill this process. UI.exe. Okay, fine. So let me save this. So what happens is, logically, get transaction data. So here, so this state will keep on getting the transaction data. If there is no transaction data, if out underscore transaction data is nothing, it means if there is no data, it will end the process. So in end process, what should happen is, I have written that in end process it should kill the process. It should kill which process? It should kill the UI demo.exe. Means ideally it should close this application. So instead of end process, you can also use close tab or close application or close workbook or close tab, close window, close whatever, means depends on uh, your convenient, right? Let me check whether this will happen or not. Okay, so let me close this. Let me close this as well. Let me close this. Okay, let me run. Okay, so it is keep on taking the data. So once it reaches the last row where there is no data, yeah, it should kill the application. Okay, ultimately it is not killing, might be some issue, but we'll check it later. But you have, so the main purpose of this is to kill the process. Okay, so I don't know, I need to check. It's not that important here, but I need to check why it is not killing. We maybe have given some wrong process name. So let me check. It's a string anyhow. Okay. So okay, so instead of kill process, I'm just using close application. Okay, so let me check what this will result in, right? I'm using close application, means finally it should close the UI demo application, right? Let me open this, and I have not opened everything. Okay, let's start this. Admin password login, first transaction, second transaction, third row, fourth, keep on reading row by row. Once there is no data in such a row, then it should close the UI demo application. Yes, I think it has closed. Okay, we stop this off. Okay, so it has been closed. So this is the basic overview and a very basic example. So guys, just keep this in mind. Okay, so first here you should focus more on how to use the config file. Okay, how to perform how to use the config file, and how to utilize and what logic you should put uh, in get transaction data. So the process transaction is very simple, so there is no concept behind that. Okay, so I mean, not much theory behind that. Okay, so in process transaction you can write your own workflow, so nothing doing there, it's simple process, right? So in get transaction data, this is very important, right? So what condition you should put. So if, so in this what I means that would be great, means if you just start using this and perform the same example, I mean very simple example by using Excel sheet. And very important, if you are using Excel sheet as your data source, then the transaction item, wherever you see transaction item variable or in underscore transaction item or out underscore transaction item, in all the states, all the workflows, it should be data row. So this is very important, or else you will end up with exceptions. Okay, yeah, so thank you, thanks for watching. So if you like this video, or if you want to give a feedback or suggestions, please do comment, and please subscribe the channel. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you so much.